you. Natasha Denona, I Need a Nude palette. She has arrived. This has got 15 brand new shades. Cool tone. Yes. Set to work with all skin tones. Here is the packaging. And here is the color story. Yes, we're going to do swatches, we're going to create a couple of looks, and we're going to do some comparisons because yes, Natasha said that these are brand new, but we need to know, we need to see what's in the collection that might be comparable. So let's see. I pulled some minis and I pulled some other, I pulled this one because I feel like that's the one everyone is saying is comparable, but let's see. Anywho, let's get into all of those details, shall we? Can we start off with the packaging? It is pretty on par with what I want to say is the newer packaging, whereas you have like a design within a design. It's like a little bit more. You know what I mean? It's nice. It's not too bulky. And of course, as per usual, you have the little holes in the back if you want to ever pop out. And you've got some more details down there. Shelf life and, you know, all the things. Made in Italy. You know. So let me share with you quickly what Natasha says about this palette. This is a must-have cool tones palette with 15 nude shades in Natasha Denona's iconic matte metallic sparkling foiled and brand new wet effect formula. You get 15 shades and she retails for $69. I ordered mine from Sephora, so it just came in today, which is fine. It's okay. And you guys must really be enjoying this because it's currently sold out on Sephora. Anyways, I'll have any other retailers that I can find along with Sephora because it will come back in stock. I'll have that all listed and linked for you down below in the description box. Majority, not always, but majority of the times that Natasha Denona comes out with a new eyeshadow palette, I do get excited and inspired and I look forward to it. Looking at this color story, there is no denying that it is beautiful, and I do like that there's a variety of finishes and the cool tones, they work. So I'm going to give you live swatches and then I'll insert the outdoor direct sunlight swatches along with my indoor indirect natural lighting swatches that I like to do. I share those multiple different swatches with you so that you can get a realistic look at all the details, as many details as possible, so that you can experience this with me. So shall we do some live swatches? I'll do row by row. Ooh, wow. I'm gonna go back into this first shade Stone. We're just kind of building it up. There you go. Just a little bit. On to the second row. Space them out just a little bit. Ooh, this one is so creamy. Oh my goodness. Listen, do you see that glide? Here is the second row. Wow. And now the third row. Wow. Look at that. That is the third row. Do you see the metallicness? Wow. And all right, now as promised, here are the other swatches. I don't particularly have a plan. All I know is that I want to create multiple looks, Let's see the versatility in this palette. Let's have some fun with it. I'm just gonna let my brush guide. But I do want to keep in mind some wearable looks that we can just grab the palette and create and go. And then, you know, a little something more for when we're in that mood or we have an occasion. Or we just feel like it when we want a little bit more. And I'm trying to get the plastic off the mirror. I got the plastic off, and this is a nice quality mirror. So we're gonna use that. I'm gonna go into the shade here, Wit. I'm picking that up on a Rephr number 1 brush. And I'm going to blend that in my crease. And I think it's fair to say I'm gonna start off with a soft and pretty look. I'm just gonna build that up in the crease and my outer eye a bit. That looks nice and soft and pretty. I'm gonna go to the shade up here called Vague. And I'm gonna kind of just place that on my outer eye. All right, so just put a little bit of that Vague shade on my outer eye. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take Sheen, the one I dug my finger in, and I'm going to apply that first. So pretty. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay. And then I'm gonna go into Mia. Kind of partial to that one, I don't know why. And I'm gonna put that more on like the beginning portion. And then I'm gonna go into my W21 brush from Esum into Mia. Hello. And get her more precise on the inner eye. I'm going into a little bit more Vague, just to put a little bit more of something on my outer eye. Number 8 from Wayne Goss. I like this one just a little bit more for creating a wing. Yeah, there we go. See? Does a little bit better of a job, I think. Let's do a little mascara. This one is from Valentino. All the products will be listed down below in the description box. Here's our first look. Something a little soft and pretty. I love the little bit of pink. This gives me just the right amount of sparkle with a bit of pink. Very, very pretty. All right, let's do another. Blender Pro from Sonia G, going into this shade here, Tender. And I'm gonna just apply that in the crease. That is blending very nicely. Just trying to follow the eye shape. This is a clean number 16 brush from Wayne Goss. I'm using that to just diffuse the edges. And then I'm gonna go into the shade Silhouette. Not picking up too much product, but just because I like to work with my products less and build up to more versus having too much and, you know, having to do a lot of work to blend it to where you want it, you know? So just building up that Silhouette shade on the outer eye. Filigree, this one right here, I think is how you pronounce it. Let's apply that on the lid. Ooh, yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? These apply so nicely. Yeah. Wow. I'm going to turn that brush around and go into the shade Muse. right here in the center. And I'll put that on the beginning portion. This one has a little bit different of a texture, so keep that in mind. I think this one probably would go on best with a finger, but I want to be able to try these with the brush. It's not applying bad with the brush, but just something to note. I forgot to put on mascara. It's just all the prettiness of these looks. I'm trying to be like as close as possible so you can like see these beautiful textures on the lid. They're gorgeous. They don't feel heavy or anything. They don't feel like chunky glitters. They're so smooth. Wow. Really beautiful formula. Let's get even more cool tone. Let's start off with Stone, the shade here. And I'm blending that in my crease. This is that same Rephr #1 brush. In my head, I'm envisioning like a soft, cool tone look. Yeah, let's see how that turns out. All right, so I'm just building up Stone in the crease. Going in with a clean, fluffy brush. Blending the edge. I've got Old Faithful here. This is like my 12, 13, 14, maybe 15-year-old brush. It's from Chanel. I'm gonna go into this shade here, Tender. And I'm gonna work Tender on the outer eye. And continue to build and blend it on the outer eye. Do I dare do an all matte look? Maybe. Let's try it. So another Old Faithful, super old brush. I'm going to go into the shade Mesh. And let's apply that just on the lid. Yeah, that's cute. That's cute. A nice cool tone matte look. When you look in this palette, you're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that. Oh, yeah, you are. Oof, that's soft and pretty. Like that a lot. Just do a little sparkle, okay? This is very nice. This is awesome, but I need to do a little sparkle. So I want to go into Delilah. This shade right here. Right here. Okay. I'm putting her just a little on the center. Just that little sparkle. So I put her just on the center. Just a little sparkle. She adds just a little bit of something to your matte, cool tone look. So pretty. Okay, well, let's do another look. Going into this shade here, Vague. Packing that very much on the outer eye. Just building it up a bit. And then we're going to blend it in the crease. Yes, I'm using the same brush, but I am cleaning it off in between. So I'm just building that shade, same shade, Vague, yeah, Vague. I'm going to go in with Ella and Travertine. So what I'll do is I'll put Ella on the center portion. So pretty. And then I'll put Travertine more towards the beginning. I'm trying to use as many of the shades as possible, can you tell? This is what happens when I get a new Natasha Denona palette. I just want to put them all on. And so, do really enjoy the finger application with the more special shades. But the brush does work well. So I'm just taking my W21 with that shade Ella to perfect it. and then turning it over, and then let's perfect travertine on the beginning portion. Let's refresh this mascara. I feel like both of these are actually quite soft. But there's just like a little light wash of color that just give it a little, just that element of a little bit more. And then of course the sparkle, hello. They look so good on the lid. Something about a bronze with a pinky mauvey tone that just looks so good. And then this, what was the matte cool tone look that we just needed to add a little bit of sparkle to. I think it came out good too. All right, let's do one more look. And I want to make this one in particular like as dramatic as possible because I feel like I'm intentionally trying to create looks that are soft and pretty and easy and wearable, which is fine. I love that. And it's good to know that we can get that from this palette. So we'll get more than just special occasion use out of the palette, but let's take it there. So one more look and we'll make it nice and dramatic. Yes. Let's do this. Feeling dramatic, yes. Starting off with the shade Wit. And then I'm gonna go into the shade Vague. Those two shades, I'm just focusing in the crease. Those are gonna be the shades that kind of transition down into the darker shade. So again, I'm starting off with Wit, and then I'm gonna gradient on down into Vague. And we'll see where we go from there. Now into that Vague shade. Wit is just a little bit lighter than Vague, but I like them together, especially for something like this. It helps create that soft gradient. Go into the darkest shade, and I'm going to switch brushes. Going into the Sonia G Blender Pro, going into the shade Silhouette. That I'm putting directly in my crease. And I'm slowly gonna build that up. I don't wanna go overboard too quickly. Like, yeah, I want it to be dramatic and stuff, but I don't, you know, I still wanna be able to blend it to my little heart's content. And I'm making sure to look forward so that I get the shape build up on the outer eye. I'm gonna go back into the shade Vague and just blend these edges just a little bit. That's the fun part of a more dramatic look, is you kind of get to go back and forth and build and play. You know, until you get it how you'd like it. I believe this shade right here is pronounced Filigree. That is what's going on the lid. That's what's going on the lid. Mm-hmm. The texture on this one is so creamy. It feels almost like a creamy, it feels almost like a cream eyeshadow. Just picking up that shade with the brush and perfecting. Then for a little inner corner highlight, I'm going to go into Mia. I do like the contrast of Mia with this, right? Yeah, lets it pop. So I'm first going to take Silhouette, which was the darkest shade, and then Vague, and do a little something on the lower lash line. I'm going with my Chantecaille eye kaajal and put that in the waterline. I am so very happy that I was able to share with you some very soft and pretty and easy wearable type of looks. But this is always necessary. We always need just a little bit more glam. We're always needing it for when we're in that mood or with that occasion arises. But I like this look a lot. More glamorous looks are always fun for me, and I love to share them with you. So here is our, okay, 1, 2, 3, because technically the matte one was 2. So what do we do? 5, 6 looks. We did a good amount of looks with the I Need a Nude palette from Natasha Denona. Let me get close so you can see the little details. Absolutely love how these shades look on the lid. They are so metallic and smooth. Yeah, I'm quite happy with all of the looks I was able to create with this palette. That allowed me to dabble in, to touch, to really work with every single one of these shades. I think the only one I didn't use was Fair, which was this lightest shade here. It's a matte, it's creamy. That's definitely something you can use as a brow bone highlight, or if you want to create a matte look, you can use it on the lid or on the inner eye. Other than that, I was able to use every single one of these shades and none of them disappointed. Formula is fantastic. I really love how these metallics, they shine. They're very creamy, they're very smooth. The only one that has a texture that's just a little bit different than the rest, it's got a little bit more of what I would think is texture, is Mousse. It's a little more chunky, but it's still smooth once you apply it. With brush, with finger, great formula. Beautiful color story. This is a cool tone palette that was necessary, and packaging is great. So now let's get into some comparisons. So I pulled a couple of minis, and then I pulled the Glam palette because I don't know. I thought of the Glam palette as soon as I saw this palette, but I don't know how I feel about that now. Maybe there's a shade or two that we can compare, but overall, I don't think that it's like, if you have the Glam, you don't need this kind of thing. This is like a cool tone beauty, okay? So here they are side by side. I can kind of sort of see why my brain and my thoughts thought of the Glam palette, and I mainly think it's because of some of these shades, like this one and this one. So let's swatch a few, yeah? Okay, so here's Silhouette, which does not swatch well, but it works really nice because that's what I have applied, and I used it a couple times, but it doesn't swatch very well. See that? And like I always say, swatches never tell the full story. They just give you an idea of what to expect. Let's start off within the Glam palette lash line. I'm going to try that one. And I'll try Smoke. Yeah, Smoke is, let's exclude Smoke actually. The Glam palette shade, it's definitely a lot darker. In this mini Glam, I want to try this darkest shade. Let's see how it compares, just because, why not? Yeah, no. It's a very rich brown. In the mini Glam, it's a lot lighter. I want to see a couple of shades in comparison to Filigree. Filigree, again, is the one I have on the lid. It's this one here. I love the texture of that. Look at it. It's so gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Okay. So here's Filigree. Look how creamy and beautiful that is. Yes. From the Glam palette, I want to try this shade here. They call it Outer Eyelid. This kind, look at that. I mean, it's kind of giving. So let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, here's the thing. They look similar, but this formulation is very different to this formulation. And I want to say that this one has a little bit more silver shift to it versus the Glam one that's giving more like a bronze tone. So they're close. Close. I want to see something here. I want to put Ella and Travertine, these two. So Ella and Travertine, I want to see something. Shade here, center eyelid and outer eyelid. I want to try those two. Yeah, these are more like silvery. Let's see. Wow, so pretty. They looked a little like there was a little something going on in the pan, but no, these are very different. I mean, Natasha Denona's quality and just the formulation. Look at them. Look at them glisten. Wow. Go into Mousse. That interesting texture. Well, look at it. Once you swatch it, I mean, goodness gracious. Okay, so let's do Mousse. Ooh, blinding, right? And then I want to do inner corner. Yeah, and then I want to try inner corner. I feel like that's that's the one that caught my eye. Okay. Wow. Okay, so what I'm seeing is the one from I Need a Nude. It's more of like a pinky champagne versus the Glam palette. It's a little more golden, peachy. Okay. Okay. We're making some good progress. I really hope you guys are enjoying today's video and all the little details I'm trying to throw at you. Don't forget to give today's video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Okay, let's see. Let's go into this one from the mini. Oh yeah, from the mini Glam, sorry. Let's see what that looks like in comparison. Yeah, this one too. This one is even more golden. See? Yeah, it's got like a little bit of a pinkish shift. You could probably, like right there, you can kind of see it's more of a pinky shift. Yeah. Let's see this one from the mini Biba. Let's see. Sounds a little chunky. This one's got even more of a little bit of a pink shift to it. You see that? Wow. Let's go into Wit and Vague. I use those quite a bit today. I really like them. I love a good pink eyeshadow. I really, really do. Vague is just a little bit darker than Wit, but I like that they're both in the palette because you can kind of use them interchangeably, use them to blend each other out, you know, like kind of like what we did. So in Mini Zendo and the Mini Biba, there's some pinky tones in here I want to just see. So let's go into these two pinky tones here, the lighter one and then the darker one from Zendo. Definitely can see that these are completely different tones. Yeah. Look at that one. So much lighter, and this one is even darker. And so in the Mini Biba, I'm going to do these two, the lighter and the darker. Yeah, these are completely different tones, aren't they? Yay. I did them a little backwards. This is the lighter one, and that's the darker one. Here are our comparisons. We've got some similarities, but I did not find any exacts. So that's always a good thing. So what are we thinking about the new Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette? I think you already know how I'm feeling about it, clearly. Which was your favorite look today? Are you picking this palette up? Comment down below, let's talk about it. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. Please take a minute to give today's video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Stay beautiful, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.